Not 2 weeks after a 5-star match in New Japan Pro Wrestling, it has been announced that Chris Jericho is heading back to a WWE ring. Holy shit, that man has better exposure than Jim Cornette's skin flute. Yep, as part of the 25th anniversary of Raw celebrations, WWE have unveiled yet another huge name for the dual broadcast. But, unlike Steve Austin and The Undertaker, Jericho arrives not as another slice of nostalgia, but genuinely one of the most buzzworthy wrestlers in the world right now. He cannot simply be there to wave at a crowd. So why is he there? Are they setting up a match? Are they putting somebody over? Are they just trying to cash in on his latest reinvention? Or are they trying to remind us all that he's still their guy? Well, my name is Adam Cleary, and I've got a theory. Theories, like 5. Number 5, the return of the highlight reel. Alright, so we'll start small here. If Raw is going to be the big nostalgia fest that we think it's going to be, then the highlight reel's probably a good shout. It was fun in the past, it really got his personality over, and it did wonders for the people sitting on the opposite side of the chair. WWE can do a special Raw 25 episode of the highlight reel and use it to put the spotlight on, I don't know, Jason Jordan, Elias, someone entirely underwhelming. To be honest with you, I think this would be a complete waste of where Jericho is in the current standing, but that's precisely why WWE might do it. Number 4, Raw is Jericho. Aha, those were the days we get the countdown clock, a nice big explosion, and then we'd be reminded that we were watching Jericho's show. If they really are going to go all in on this nostalgia thing, this is probably the coolest way they can do it. I guess you could have him open the show at one venue and close at another, effectively making him Raw 25's host. He could run and interfere in somewhere, or get into an altercation with a former adversary, or just use his promo skills to liven up a show that will otherwise probably make about as much sense as a Scott Steiner promo. Number 3, put nostalgia on the list. But look, hey, if they don't want to just have him trot out the greatest hits, because let's face it, there are going to be loads of other people doing that on the night, they could use this as an opportunity to bury his old gimmick, effectively putting the list on the list before putting the list in a bin. Why would you do that? Well, because this whole alpha thing is super over right now. Granted, it was born in another promotion, but as we've seen with the broken Matt Hardy gimmick, WWE aren't above cashing in on success that's happened elsewhere. Plus, one more run as a best in the world type thing for Jericho would be a sight to behold. Number 2, the Royal Rumble. On the face of it, Chris Jericho has done it all. He's held every major title going, he's headlined WrestleMania, Christ, he even pulled off a scarf late into his mid-40s. There is nothing the man cannot do. But there is one thing he hasn't done, and that's win the Royal Rumble. You see, despite holding the record for the longest cumulative time in a Rumble, he smashed Triple H's record of 4 hours by another 56 minutes recently, he's never actually won the thing. Now, having him come out and announce that he was going for the one thing that's eluded him his entire career would be huge. Not least of all because he's a hot enough property right now that he's a believable winner. Number 1, WrestleMania. Alright, so you're Vince McMahon for a minute. Now suppress the urge to bother the nearest woman or squeeze a cat to death and try and imagine what you would do with the most hyped wrestler in the world currently available to you. How do you make the most amount of money possible from a short stint with you? You put him in a match, and you don't just put him in any match, you put him in a big match, in a money match, in a fantasy match. You put him, and hear me out, you put him in a match with Goldberg. Why not? Goldberg's headlining the Hall of Fame this year and retiring in the process. What would be more Chris Jericho than to have him interrupt his farewell speech and tell him he doesn't deserve that celebration? He doesn't deserve to go out on a high like that, not unless he can get through Y2J. You could have them bring up their storied history, you could make a career versus career. I'll admit, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense right now, but show me one wrestling fan who wouldn't want to watch that, and I will show you a liar. Oh, don't worry, we've done the maths. If you put this in the middle of the card somewhere, he can definitely make it halfway across the country in time for his gig that night. But what do you think Chris Jericho's coming back for? Short-term nostalgia pop or the beginning of something bigger? Let us know in the comments below, and as ever, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, I've been Adam from What Culture Wrestling, and I'll see you soon.